SUVs. We can't live without them, and Porsche knows this all too well, because it has tasted success with the Cayenne since 2002. More than 770,000 Cayennes have been sold ever since, and now there's a new generation.
Now the silhouette might appear to be similar to the outgoing version of the Porsche Cayenne, but it isn't. And you might feel that, well, there's no difference between this and the outgoing one. Well, there's a reason for that. Porsche says that why create something new when you can improve perfection? That's what this is about. This is the third generation of the Cayenne, and yes, it gets something new up front. Those are LED headlamps that you see there, and yes, the front bumper is all new too. Of course, there's a lot bit inside that they have changed, right from the cabin, the way it looks, and the way it drives. That's more important, and it's coming to India in June this year. So with that in the background, that's going to be my playground for today, and that's where I'm going to take the third generation of the new Cayenne.
The new Cayenne is based on a vehicle architecture for which Porsche was not the engineering lead. The company has used VW Group's MLB platform, whose development was primarily handled by Audi. It's the same platform that underpins the second generation of the Audi Q7 and even the Bentley Bentayga, which is why the Porsche shares a lot with both these cars. The Cayenne shares the basic structure, drivetrain layout, and even the suspension hardware. There's also the 48-volt powered active stabilizer bars and rear wheel steering system that are optional across the range. The Cayenne has grown. It is now longer and wider than before, but the wheelbase is the same. So clearly there was enough space at the back of this 5-seater SUV. However, the increase in length has had one advantage.
Well, there are tons of features that this one gets, and especially driver assist features, which is a first for the Porsche Cayenne. The third generation actually brings out a different side of the Cayenne that we've never seen before, and takes up the mantle of being probably the best luxury SUV there is.
You get a 12.3-inch HD infotainment touchscreen, haptic switches on the center console, and an instrument panel with an analog tachometer flanked by two 7-inch HD display screens, which provide you with details like G-force, tire pressure monitor, navigation, and even fuel economy. And yes, there's Apple CarPlay too. However, not everything is a hand-me-down from the Panamera. The Cayenne stands out on its own with a new brake technology which is called the Porsche surface-coated brakes. The technology makes its debut on the new Cayenne and is composed of cast iron brake rotors coated with tungsten carbide, which help in increasing friction, thus reducing dust and improving the rotor's life almost by 20%. It's not standard technology though. You'll get it as an option on the other models only if you choose 20 or 21-inch wheels. The fun package though is under the hood, and I got to drive both the Cayenne and the Cayenne S. Sadly, the turbo couldn't make it in time, as paradoxical as it may sound.
Frankly, from behind the wheel, the Cayenne is pretty much compact. Yes, we've driven both the S version as well, but this one is the base version. So this one gets a 3-liter V6 engine, which churns out 335 brake horsepower, which is 40 more than it was before, and there's 450 Newton meters of torque, which is also more than before. 0 to 100 is done in just under 6 seconds, and that's pretty good, isn't it? The acceleration actually is pretty nice. The new 6-cylinder engine works beautifully well on this car. There's hardly any vibration that comes inside. Even when I'm talking to you, I'm on a rough patch, and yes, I don't have to keep my voice at a higher pitch at all. but this one's pretty well sorted in that case. It's got active suspension, it's got driving modes that you can toggle through on gravel, on rock, on mud, on sand. All that can be done with ease, and it's just a simple luxury car, a simple luxury SUV which you can take to your office, and then if you want to just do some off-roading, go ahead and do that.
The Cayenne has the all-wheel drive system and 2 lockable differentials. We even got a chance to check out the electronically controlled hill climb and descent driver assist features. Once engaged, the assist systems do not deactivate till you do so manually. The Cayenne S gets a new 2.9-litre V6 which is good enough for 434 bhp and 550 Nm of peak torque. It's a treat as 0 to 100 km/h takes just 5.2 seconds with the top speed rated at 265 km/h. The turbo version is powered by a 4.0-litre V8, belting out 550 horsepower and 717 Nm of torque, and exceeding its predecessor's numbers by 30 horsepower and 20 Nm of torque. It claims a sprint to 100 km/h in 4.1 seconds. It's on this one that I engaged the Sport Plus mode, and immediately the optional adaptive suspension stiffened up and it all came together. Both the cars I drove came with the optional Porsche dynamic chassis control, which has an electrically operated anti-roll bar system which provides quicker response times than the older car's hydraulic system, and yes, it was always eager to go. The turbo gets an active spoiler as standard. The spoiler automatically changes its angle by 20 mm to increase downforce if one is doing speeds in excess of 160 km/h. The angle is further increased to 40 mm in the Sport Plus mode. If the sunroof is kept open, it takes this into account and further modulates to 60 mm so that the car is still aerodynamically efficient. Pricing will start at just over the 1 crore rupees mark, at which you also have the Range Rover Sport for company. Against this British off-roader, the Porsche does offer a credible option. The styling doesn't scream all new, but the car's drive is promising, and what I can confirm is that rocky mountain trails are a piece of cake for this one. The flagship SUV might have lost its lead to the Macan, but it still is one of the largest selling models for Porsche in India. In fact, with this third gen, we won't be surprised if it goes on to become one of the best-selling Porsche of all times.